All right, we're doing another one, and we have something that has gotten pretty popular recently. It's the Instant Pot Vortex Plus. Now, I actually ordered this 8 months ago in April, if you're watching this at the time of release. It was like 220 bucks and that was on special. It's now only 169 bucks. That might be a Boxing Day sale, but I'll put a link below to buy it on Amazon because it is apparently awesome. And that's what we're gonna find out today. So let's get this opened up. Box in a box, of course it is. Should have known that, but didn't want to skip any of the unboxing. All right, there we go. So the things we really want to look at here is that this is a 10 litre, can fit bloody heaps in it. I like that it's going to replace, as it's, oh, it doesn't say that, as it says here, it's going to replace a whole pile of my appliances. So 10 litres, 1500 watts from 60 degrees up to 200 degrees, air fry, roast, grill, bake. It can also dehydrate, it's got a rotisserie built in, so it does everything you might need it to do. 1500 watts we're going to test. Somewhere else I saw it said that it's 1700 watts, but it can fit a whole bloody chicken in it, so I'm very happy about that. Comes with a drip pan, cooking trays, can you see that? Almost. Drip pan, cooking trays, rotisserie basket, spit and forks, and a rotisserie lift. It is apparently the best thing since sliced bread. There we go. This one says 1600 watts. We're going to test that. Best thing since sliced bread. Even their website says nuggets never tasted better. So we're going to have to try some of that. It is also excellent for reheating things. Now, what I currently use my existing cheap Kmart air fryer for, which I'll put a link to below, is just reheating stuff mostly. So reheating chips, nuggets, especially pizza, it works excellently. The fact that this bakes and dehydrates and everything like that is awesome. I don't have anything rotisserie yet, so I'm really excited to try that out. But let's see, it might be crap, who knows? Let's open it up and get it set up. That is a nice solid door. Warning, remove all packaging, don't put blah, 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 blah. Oh, that's a tight fit. That is our rotisserie basket. That's bloody neat. All right, so that's everything out. It has a nice surface on top. I'm not sure what this gap around here is. I'm not sure if you're supposed to sit things on top of it, probably not, but I definitely will be. Slightly weird design. It only weighs about 9 kilos and it's actually pretty compact, so I've got to give them credit for that. And it seems like the drip tray and everything else is actually decent quality. It's got a few layers in there, so you can place things at different levels. If we lined it up right. It says though, to only put one layer of food in there in most conditions. Because it dehydrates though, you can also use the dehydrating function. That is to release the rotisserie, which I probably should have done just before. As you can see, you got the rotisserie basket, you got some skewery bits, you got the lifter, so this is so you can actually get it in and out safely without cooking your hands. And do not place, on the stovetop, on another appliance, heat, blah, 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 to avoid the risk. Okay, rotisserie fork and rotisserie spit. I see, all right, yep. That makes sense. Does it say anything about putting things on top of it? To avoid injury, electrical shock, following instructions, blah, blah, blah. Getting started, how to hit all the buttons and change your options. Status messages, cooking. All right, so they've got a good little reference here, but if you go on their website, they actually have a huge chart of all the different things you can cook, like doing chicken, chips, fish, everything like that, and what mode to put it in and how long to set it to. There we go, that gives you a good idea. Blah, 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 blah. Care, cleaning and storage. No, I'm starting to pay more attention to these user guides, but not as much as I should. So if we were going to rotisserie then, you want to put this all the way through the Quacker's clacker, and then you've got this sort of an arrangement. Oh, you've actually got a little pinhole in there that you line up with a screw, and that locks in nice and tight. Same on the other end, and then when that goes in, that's going to spin the bitch around. It looks like it'd fit most chickens. You might be hard pressed with some of them. But what I'm going to do now is get some chicken and chips. All right, I'm a bit limited because I forgot to go shopping yesterday, but we'll leave the drip tray in the bottom. We'll put one of those in, and we're going to cook me 2 hash browns because I'm hungry. Now, I don't know if you need to clean it before first use. It might have a bit of a smell in it. We're gonna have to see. Let's get this plugged in though and see what the settings look like. Oh yeah, little internal light there that you can see. And does the menu not come on until we close? Oh, that's got a little bit of wobble to it, but it closes and lines up much easier than that other one. All right, temperature, mode, timer, lots of messages. Turn it on by putting it in a mode. So we're gonna air fry these. So you should really, what was it, air fry, roast, broil, which is grill for those in Australia because bloody Americans. Bake, reheat, dehydrate, rotate, light. What's gonna be better for these? Probably air fry, I reckon. You can put a bit of oil in there, but I'm not gonna bother. Temperature 205 is fine, but we don't need it going that long. Whoop. Let's say about 8 minutes. We'll come back when that is done. Start. Yeah. All right, so whilst it's running now, there's a bit of noise, but I mean, that's an air fryer for you. We do have a few options like rotate, light, cancel, and you can see it's in air fryer mode. So if we turn that light on, oh, I hit cancel, close enough. What I also want to see then, if we go broil and 8 minutes and hit start. All right, it's still fan 4, so it doesn't actually look like you've got an option for that. Air fry, roast, broil, bake, reheat, dehydrate. So what if I go roast? Yep, everything is fan forced and that's not optional. So I'm gonna leave this on air fry mode for that 8 minutes. We'll let these cook and we'll come back shortly. Just to quickly check, it is drawing some power, 1650 watts. I'm pretty happy with that. As long as it's more powerful than advertised, that's good enough for me. That's excellent. When you open the door, it stops and it resumes back from where it was. It doesn't show me a time countdown though, which I find a little bit weird. The only other thing I found is it doesn't respond to fingertips very well. It might just be my fingertips, but if you use, you know, a whole finger pad, it responds brilliantly. All right, so it started beeping at me for some reason. What I think has happened is it's hit temperature now and it's gonna start counting down. So that's what we missed before, which I think is quite impressive. The food is already starting to cook a fair bit, which is nice. I think that is actually an excellent feature. You might wanna be aware of that because you might wanna add your food in after it's preheated, not before, but it's whatever works for you. All right, let's cancel that one here. Interesting, the fan draws 37 watts on its own and it looks like it's gonna keep it cool. Now, the reason I'm canceling this, I wonder if this will work for, yeah, a little bit, is they're looking pretty well cooked for me, but there is something you might be able to see here, and that's that it seems to have cooked a little more on the left than on the right. The light is also up there. Now, just looking inside, the heating element is very central. So I'd say that's just gonna be these hash browns. Let's flip them over. Yep, pretty evenly cooked on the bottom too. So that's pretty nice. I will actually go a little bit more with these, just because they looked a little bit crispier when it was closed. Okie dokie. Yep, those are some nicely done hash browns. That's why I like them. That's how I like them, like this, nice and crispy. Oh, that's what that's for. Next thing we're gonna try though is a bit of rotisserie. So let's get this one moved out the way. It's a bit warm, but we'll live. Got our rotisserie bucket. And in goes a single tendy. Oh, make a hell of a mess. So then the rotisserie bucket has a little locking mechanism. So you put it on, it shows your symbol there, lock it in place. All right, so it does need a little bit of finagling. You'll see on the left-hand side, it just starts to slip in to the spot where you want it. Let's see if I can get There we go. So to get it to just slip in there, I had to finagle it around a little bit because it is a squared end, but that's now in and we can get cooking again. Actually, let's air fry and rotate. Gonna let this cook for a few minutes. Kind of bothers me that it's not straight, but I'm not gonna do anything about it. All right, something interesting here. We saw the current just drop down to 63 and then back up to 1600. It appears as though it actually maintains the internal temperature. It's not just blasting the entire time like a lot of others seem to, it's maintaining that temperature. So I think that's gonna actually be really good for cooking because it gives, it means it's, you know, exerting a lot more control over the cooking process. It means it's gonna be much more energy efficient too. So I'm quite impressed with that. And I think this is just about done. It's starting to look pretty crispy in there. We'll give it another minute or so. It does say when cooking stuff, you can add up to 2 tablespoons of oil if you want it to be extra oily. What else I find interesting though, is that the temperature's all in Celsius, and it doesn't look like there's any way to change it, but it still says bloody broil. So which one is it? Is it like, is there freedom units somewhere and I can't find them? Or do some versions, the newer versions say grill, even though the manual says grill? I did notice it also has here, it can tell you to add food or turn food. So reheat and dehydrate, so I can tell you to add food. That's the message that comes up when it beeps that you've probably seen that I've missed. But when you're air frying and roasting, it'll also tell you when to turn your food based on what recipe you may use. All right, I'm pretty happy with how this tendy is looking, so I'm gonna turn it off in a tick. The one other thing worth mentioning though is it's on sale now for $169, which is 50-something% off. It's normally $339. So that is a pretty good deal. I didn't get it that cheap. I would go for it so far. This is seemingly pretty bloody good. It's even got decent seals here. Ah, I see. So yeah, that's what gives it that soft close, but it's a nice thick edge around it as well. I can feel it's trapping a lot of heat in there. Let's get this one out though. Sit it on the glass like I'm sure it probably tells you you're not supposed to. And here we go. We have a dirty tray, which probably, actually I'll close the door first to dump all the dirt back on it. Yeah, close enough. That one can go in the sink too. And there we have a nicely cooked tender. I would probably add oil to it next time I'm doing it, but look, this definitely looks edible. Because I'm a terrible person, I'm gonna add chicken salt to my chicken tendy. Then, because no one should go without this, it's a bit of Frank's hot sauce. So, I paid 200 and something bucks for it. It's 169 at the moment, and it's about 339 if you buy it any other time. Would I buy it? Yes. I'm very happy with this. I haven't used it all. Dehydrate sits at 60 degrees, so I will be trying that with some black garlic. What I mostly need to know is if it can dehydrate it over a long period of time, like 2 to 3 days, not whatever its time limit is. There might, actually it goes down to 49C. Wow, that goes really low. That goes down to 35C, which is much lower than I thought it would. Now, what can we do with the time? I'm sorry about the slight light blur here. I did give the camera lens a wipe, but I think it's just getting pretty busted up over the years of use. Hopefully in February, the S23 is coming out, and I will be getting one of those for bloody sure. All right, this just keeps going. I'm guessing it goes up to 4 nines. Let's see. 72. That's exactly what we need. I said about 3 days. That is going to do the trick. So, out of safety's sake, would it let you do that at a decent temperature? No, so dehydrate maxes out at 79 degrees. There's some good smarts in there. Yes, I would buy it. Yes, I would recommend it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment if you want to see me cook something else. If you've had issues with it yourself. If you want to know more specs, let me know. I like this thing. It's going to replace the other one. It's money you go to. Enjoy, folks. Have a great holiday season.